Huff. As expected, I'm getting old, good for looks but useless. The attacks from the Reincarnation Heavenly Formation and the Fire Pillar were specifically designed to target the extraterritorial evil clan. Tang Feng, recklessly erased and devoured by them, allowed the blood and life force of those humans to easily extinguish the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal's attack. Six Paths. Times have changed. Once I prepare this move, the entire cave mansion will fall with you. Turn to ashes. The filthy, evil lord's body seethed with evil radiance, rolling in layers of seven-colored evil clouds, resembling an overwhelmingly powerful and hidden evil being, gradually emerging as if crossing through the river of time. Senior, what should we do now? Looking at the increasingly terrifying filthy evil lord, Xiao, hidden within the spirit palace, couldn't help but ask. Though the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal had temporarily revived with the help of the broken map, its strength was too weak to be on the same level as the filthy evil lord. There is a way, but the cost is too great. I can send you away from here, Xiao murmured, seemingly with the intention of protecting Xiao and Yun from this place. Senior, I want to try. I also really need the third sacred flame. Xiao, hidden within the spirit palace, wore a complex expression. He then gazed at the filthy evil lord's overwhelming evil power, his soul once again surging with madness. Can you withstand it? The Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal didn't directly respond to Xiao, but spoke softly. I should be able to. Xiao gave a faint smile, his voice filled with an air of domineering arrogance. That kind of thing, in the entire Great Thousand Worlds, besides that lunatic Saint King, only someone like you would dare to try it. However, Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame is my inheritance. I don't want to waste my legacy here. The Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal murmured to himself, seemingly still with some reservations. Master, I once made a deal with Xiao. If he eradicates the evil god body, my essence will belong to him. Master, I am willing to trust Xiao. At this moment, the handsome face of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame showed a trace of relief. Everything that had happened within the cave mansion had long caused the usually proud Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame to completely acknowledge Xiao. Someone who can convince you in such a short time is rare. Then, let's go crazy one last time. The Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal said, controlling Xiao's body as it slowly began to rise. I will leave the control of your body to you. This kind of power I cannot wield. I can only protect you with all my strength. The final outcome is in your hands. As the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal finished speaking, he instantly turned into a thick golden liquid surrounding Xiao's body. With the protection of this golden liquid, Xiao's pressure greatly reduced. The six sacred flames inside his body began to rise simultaneously, illuminating his body with endless brilliance. Trust him. You've always liked and admired him, haven't you? The Great Thousand Worlds is a place that is good at creating miracles. As Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame finished speaking, it shook slightly and then transformed into an orange-golden everlasting lamp, slowly dispersing toward Xiao. Clearly, Xiao was their final choice. Xiao, you promised me we'd return alive to the boundless fire domain. Yun's beautiful eyes flickered, her body's brilliant sacred flame source fire seed resembling a pure flower, untainted by worldly matters, quietly drifting toward Xiao. Boom! The six sacred flames surged out. This time, without the support of the flame god's cauldron, Xiao's aura immediately became chaotic. Then, with the addition of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame and the 10,000 flower flame core, Xiao's eyes filled with a frantic fluctuation, as if his body would be completely torn apart by this surge of power at any moment. Whoosh whoosh. The undying power began to surge from his heart, nourishing and repairing Xiao's injured limbs and bones. Combined with the golden liquid transformed by the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal, it greatly purified and resisted the essence of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame, improving Xiao's condition. Glurp! This annoying guy. At this moment, sensing a divine fluctuation suddenly rising from below, surpassing heaven and earth, the filthy, evil lord growled in fury. The fusion of the 8 sacred flames, if successful, would exceed the scope of top-tier immortal arts. It had reached the level of divine arts. Whether it was divine tier or semi-divine tier, the filthy, evil lord couldn't care to consider, but such a technique was undoubtedly destructive for the filthy, evil lord. Since it's already irreversible, let's fight to the death. Emotional evil power. Filthy, evil god. The filthy, evil lord's face twisted into a sinister smile, and his dark roar, like the sound of a demon's voice, spread throughout the entire hall. A vast array of evil magic energy, 7-colored light, and emotional corruptive power howled and gathered. The filthy, evil shadow loomed large, reaching the sky above, its feet stepping on the crimson fire golden realm. The momentum and fluctuations it emitted were terrifying, as if under this immense figure, all living beings were as insignificant as ants. Xiao. At this moment, Yun's face turned pale. Beneath the filthy, evil power that overshadowed everything around the filthy, evil shadow, both her body and Xiaoyan's were rapidly being compressed. As she gazed into the distance, a sense of death flooded her heart. Her entire body and the power within her trembled uncontrollably. The filthy, evil shadow began to move. With each step, a black mist spread behind it, devouring the collapsing void of the cave mansion. Taiji Heavenly Emperor's Sword. 1,000 worlds. Seeing that Xiao still needed some time, Yun's eyes filled with tenderness. She quickly summoned the inherited power from Xun'er within her and, together with the Taiji Heavenly Emperor's Sword, decisively thrust it toward the filthy, evil shadow. Hush! The Taiji Heavenly Emperor's Sword vibrated violently, turning into a golden sword blade that shattered the layers of void, ruthlessly striking at the filthy, evil lord's body. Boom! 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 The filthy, evil shadow halted its steps, slowly lifting a hand that had undoubtedly been stained with countless bloodstains. With a soft grip, Yun's ultimate strike instantly collapsed, and she vomited a mouthful of blood, her aura completely weakening. Seeking death. Kill her. As the filthy, evil shadow was formed, the filthy, evil lord's power had already become weak, but it was still enough. Without the 6 paths reincarnation immortal and the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, the master of this cave mansion was only the filthy, evil shadow, and it would forever remain as such. The 6 paths reincarnation immortal and the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame had gambled the safety of the entire cave mansion on an immature boy, and they had lost. In the end, she would eradicate everything within the cave mansion and be reborn, soon bringing the extraterritorial evil clan back with a vengeance. By then, the peak experts of the Great Thousand Worlds would have perished or been gravely injured in the First World War. The Second World War would undoubtedly be a one-sided massacre by the extraterritorial evil clan. As the demonic hand approached, Yun's eyes watered slightly, her delicate body feeling weak. She had no regrets. Using the last of her strength, she turned her head to look at Xiao, as if wanting to take one last look at the man who had occupied her thoughts and heart for so long. A self-mocking smile tugged at the corner of her lips as she whispered a voice only she could hear. If I had known this would happen, I should never have met this guy. And why should I cling to this obsession now? Xiao, I love you. You must live. Her voice was faint, like the dying song of a phoenix about to ignite endless flame radiance and self-detonation. 8 flames. Reincarnation God-slaying eye. Suddenly, in the dim void of the cave mansion, an emotionless killing intent rippled through, sweeping across the entire space with ease. The black mist was instantly illuminated by countless blazing flames, and a sound that was otherwise plain became suffocating in its intensity. That fluctuation surpassed the realm of ordinary top-tier immortal arts, reaching an entirely new height. The Great Thousand Worlds called it a divine class Do technique. Semi-divine art. Boom! A deafening sound, like the voice of heaven, echoed throughout the cave mansion as the divine aura filled the air, overwhelming countless evil powers with a deep sense of unease and fear. As Xiaoyan's voice faded, Yun's body was immediately enveloped in an 8-colored halo. Her nose tingled slightly, and she looked at the thin figure with a pained heart. Yun knew that releasing such a powerful destructive force, even with the help of the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal, would be an extremely intense burden for Xiao. At that moment, the energy within the cave mansion began to tremble violently. Within the grand hall, numerous caves, plants, and even the ancient and glorious palaces exploded apart, as their ancient aura gathered together to confront the filthy evil shadow in a battle to the death. These structures and beings seemed to respond to Xiao's call, bursting forth with a divine aura that disregarded death, sweeping in from all directions, their target naturally the filthy evil lord before them. In the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortals Hall, cracks appeared in the void, and the holy fiery force surged out. The immense filthy evil shadow's overwhelming dark power was effortlessly consumed. Within the entire cave mansion world, countless weak evil forces were evaporated and purified in an instant, causing the filthy evil shadow to roar in anger. Above Xiao's head, an 8-colored glow slowly circulated. Above the glow, a flame-colored eye, the size of a dragon's eye, appeared. The eye pulsed slightly, exuding a breathtaking, celestial aura as if a magnificent starry river had descended. Glug! What kind of power is this? The filthy evil lord, hiding behind the filthy evil shadow, saw this scene, his face changing drastically. He immediately roared at Xiao, who was far in the distance. This power was too strange and powerful. It was something he could never resist in his current state. Come, let these filthy creatures witness our supreme divine power once again. Xiao slowly raised his hand, closing his fingers around the eye. Suddenly, his palm cracked open with an eerie, ink-black fissure. Within the depth of his palm, several sacred flame powers emerged, and one of them, a terrifying force that even made the filthy evil lord feel dizzy, began to emanate. Using semi-divine art to erase you won't tarnish the title of the extraterritorial evil god. The malicious acts you've committed against our great thousand worlds will be repaid with your death. After saying this, Xiao gently spread his palm, sending the reincarnation god-slaying eye toward the filthy evil lord. Seeing this, the filthy evil lord felt a shiver down his spine. In the temporarily calm hall, all the powers suddenly became still, and an overwhelming sense of impending doom spread. Filthy evil shadow. Evil god explosion. Glug, glug, glug. At that moment, the filthy evil lord's heart filled with a violent, murderous intent. He could no longer hold back and unleashed endless emotions of evil energy from his palm, viciously grabbing the filthy evil shadow beneath him and squeezing it tight. Boom! An evil energy mass capable of overturning the entire cave mansion contracted for a moment before exploding with terrifying force, releasing an overwhelming wave of dreadful energy. The reincarnation god-slaying eye slowly drifted forward, and wherever it passed, all evil power turned to nothingness. Even the emotional energy emanating from the filthy evil lord faded without a trace. The entire hall became severely lacking in spiritual energy, but the tiny, seemingly ordinary eye now seemed deeper and more mysterious, with increasingly dangerous waves emanating from it. Crack! The power of reincarnation slowly spread out, with 8 different types of flame energy overflowing around the eye. It completely ignored the filthy evil shadow's explosion, silently tearing through the void and roaring toward the filthy evil lord's body. No matter how massive the evil wave created by the self-explosion of the filthy evil shadow was, it was insignificant under the fusion of 8 sacred flame elements. No. Impossible. This power can actually ignore the obstruction of the filthy evil shadow's self-explosion? At that moment, the filthy evil lord's sense of hope vanished. His mouth twisted into a sinister grin, resembling an unforgivable demon facing the harshest judgment. Even after unleashing all his strength, he still couldn't eliminate Xiao. All that awaited him was death. I can't die here. I'm not willing to die. A pitiful scream erupted as the filthy evil lord's dying body trembled uncontrollably. At this moment, he finally realized the terrifying nature of the figure before him. It's over. Far away, Xiao, surrounded by the 8-colored halo, was obscured from view. Yet, all that could be heard was a sigh of deep, worldly exhaustion as he once again exhaled a breath of resignation. The god-slaying eye broke through the self-explosion ripple created by the filthy evil shadow, moving directly to the filthy evil lord's side. The surrounding void twisted and imprisoned him in place. 8-colored flame pillars slowly spread, preparing to strike the final blow to the filthy evil lord. The filthy evil lord, unwilling to give up, trembled as his mouth formed a dark, deadly beam of death energy, one capable of annihilating everything. It seemed like this guy was trying to drag Xiao down with him. Unfortunately, an evil god consciousness that occupied another's body was powerless against Xiao, who was empowered by 8 sacred flames. The 8-colored flame eye and the dark death beam clashed, with the eye ultimately prevailing. As the dark death beam was completely consumed by the 8-colored flames, the terrifying demonic aura within the cave mansion became chaotic. Some of the weaker demonic energies fled rapidly from the hall's void. As for the filthy evil lord, he never uttered another sound. His life force and origin were completely engulfed by the god-slaying eye. The fusion of 8 flames in the god-slaying eye, a semi-divine stage do technique, was a terrifying existence capable of severely injuring even the peak of the 6th evil god. Boom! Xiao naturally would not let these remaining evil energies escape. At this moment, the entire reincarnation cave mansion of the 6 paths was completely purged of countless evil forces. Although the cave had already become riddled with holes and ruins, it had fulfilled the last wish of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal. Senior of the 6 paths, the evil is eradicated. You may rest in peace. Only after the greatest calamity of this cave expedition was resolved did Xiao stand up straight, his gaze slowly shifting toward the throne atop the ruined ruins. At this moment, a faint divine power began to flow from the throne, slowly converging into the form of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal. This time, the phantom of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal was even more solidified than the previous energy avatar. However, it did not speak a word. Instead, it simply smiled faintly at Xiao, as though expressing gratitude and acknowledgement. Then, it transformed into countless rays of light and gradually dissipated into the vast expanse of the Great Thousand Worlds. The calamity of the cave was over, and the 6 paths reincarnation immortal, now free of attachments, ended this long life. Farewell, Senior. Watching the slowly fading rays of light, Xiao forcefully suppressed the strange fluctuations rising within him. He slightly bent his body and respectfully bowed toward the vanishing rays of light. When Xiao unleashed that strike, he had also learned much about their past. In order to protect the Great Thousand Worlds, the reincarnation path was blocked. Even with only the last vestige of power, he still attempted to suppress and seal the 6th evil god. Such a formidable being was enough to earn Xiao true admiration. Senior of the 6 paths, he. After a long silence, Yun's voice broke the quiet in the hall. The 6th evil god has erased his reincarnation path. The energy avatar created from the 2 fragmented maps should be his last remaining power. He perished long ago, during the battle with the 6th evil god when he was gravely injured. Xiao's gaze wandered sadly across the cave. To be able to construct such an enormous domain with his own power to suppress the 6th evil god, the strength and deeds of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal were truly admirable. With such beings in the Great Thousand Worlds, how could there be worry of it not prospering? At last it's over. The next moment, Yun slowly walked to Xiao's side. Her beautiful eyes, tinged with a hint of sorrow, looked at him. The earlier scene had been too terrifying. Had anything gone wrong, the 2 of them would likely have already fallen into reincarnation. Xiao, now covered in scars, had traces of demonic blood already solidified on his skin, his face pale, and inside. Something violent seemed to pulse slowly. Yes, it's over. But I wonder if what someone said before still holds true. Xiao Yin suddenly grinned, his eyes narrowing as he stared at Yun. Clearly, with his soul-wandering realm powers, he had heard every word she had said. Yun, hearing this, couldn't help but sigh. A blush quickly spread across her already pale cheeks. Her demeanor, like that of a young girl awaiting marriage, was identical to that of a secluded maiden who would involuntarily feel her heart race and her cheeks flush when hearing the name of her beloved. Let's not talk about that, let's go back. Where to? Home. Where's home? Endless fire territory. The hall, which had fallen into a brief quiet, was soon filled with the sound of their conversation. Though it carried a playful undertone, the feeling of surviving a catastrophe and recovering something precious was undeniably joyous. Boom. The next moment, Yun glared at Xiao Yin, clearly upset. Just as she was about to express her frustration, she saw Xiao Yin suddenly unleash a burst of orange-golden flames from his chest without warning. The orange-golden flames erupted, and the terrifying waves of energy instantly corroded the void before them. Xiao Yin, what's happening to you? This is the restoration mystic pill Elder Yao gave us. Quickly, take it. Yun's anger immediately vanished, replaced by fear that spread through her heart. I'm fine. After swallowing the pill from Yun, Xiao Yin also fed a pill from his own storage into her mouth. The power of reincarnation within him surged like bamboo shoots after a rain, rapidly recovering. Within moments, he regained about 70% of his peak strength. Is it the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame? It's all over now. You should spit it out quickly. Yun spat out the pill, her complexion improving noticeably. However, she looked anxious and hurriedly scolded Xiao Yin. I'm afraid it's too late. The last remaining power of the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal resisted the encroachment of the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, allowing me to perform the semi-divine art under the fusion of the 8 flames. Now that the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal has completely fallen, all the intelligence of the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame has also disappeared with him. The third sacred flame has now become an uncontrolled entity. On Xiao Yan's forehead, sweat streamed down, and even his voice had become incredibly slow. Xiao Yin had still underestimated the power of the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame. The third on the sacred flame ranking was truly deserving of its name. If it weren't for the fact that he possessed the dragon god transformation and his body had been tempered by 6 types of sacred flames, he probably would have been completely burned by the third sacred flame by now. However, even with that, the Baxia dragon scales on Xiao Yan's body, which were now shriveled like withered scales, continuously emitted an orange-golden light that moved across his entire body. Each time the orange-golden glow flickered within Xiao Yin, he felt as if a tidal wave was surging inside him, and he felt that death was drawing ever closer. I want to give it a try. After a moment of silence, Xiao Yin looked at Yun with a solemn gaze, as if seeking her opinion. No. Given the current situation, devouring the third sacred flame would undoubtedly be a death wish. I absolutely cannot allow you to do that. Yun immediately shook her head. Her body straightened, and with the Taiji Heavenly Emperor's sword in her hand, it emitted a chilling aura of a cold goddess, as if she intended to forcibly extract the sacred flame from Xiao Yan's body using her own power. Sigh. Seeing Yun so stubborn, Xiao Yin smiled helplessly. Get ready. I know your temper, but I don't want you to die. Just as Xiao Yin was about to shake his head and knock Yun out to prevent her from interfering, Yun suddenly took a step forward and pressed herself tightly against Xiao Yin. In an instant, the aura of the sacred flame and the reincarnation power from Yun's body, which had recovered 70% of its strength, surged into Xiao Yan's body without holding back. Yun, thank you. I love you too. You still need to take me home, no backing out. As she spoke, Yun extended her little finger with an innocent smile, staring at Xiao Yin. All right. Xiao Yin responded in kind, with a smile that lingered for a long time. Boom. A golden light shield enveloped Xiao Yan's body, clearly indicating that he had started to devour and tame the third sacred flame. The final outcome would either be that he devoured it or was consumed by it. The process of devouring was extremely difficult, but no matter how many times he failed, Xiao Yan's heart remained filled with persistent determination. Coupled with the 6 sacred flames, the flame mantra, and the indestructible power, he gradually began to devour the 3rd sacred flame over time. Time slowly passed, and Yun, standing outside, also closed her eyes to nourish her spirit. It seemed that this cave visit had allowed her strength to improve further. Although she was still unable to reach the 5th-tier reincarnation stage, it seemed like it was only a matter of time. Perhaps her future achievements would be beyond that. At the moment of devouring the sacred flame, Xiao Yan unknowingly entered a mysterious realm. Whether it was due to the faint trace of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal's power left on the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame source, it led Xiao Yan into a strange place. It was a gray, empty world, as pristine as a blank sheet of paper. Soon, a slender young girl appeared in this blank world. That person was someone Xiao Yan knew, a woman he had met in the ghost realm. Her name was Yunqi. It seemed that some powerful beings in the ghost realm had mentioned that this woman had some deep connection with his past life. However, Xiao Yan could never know the details. After all, he was not from this great 1,000 worlds, so he didn't believe in reincarnation or the transmigration of souls. At this moment, a strange emotion suddenly surged within Xiao Yan's heart. Looking at Yunqi in the image, Xiao Yan's mind froze, and his eyes lost their usual focus. Subconsciously, he slowly called out a strange name. Nananjia? This call somehow crossed the river of time and slowly resonated in the ghost realm. However, at that moment, Xiao Yan's expression was strange, as if controlled by some mysterious force. He didn't notice that, as he spoke, the water and fire dual spirit beads within him emitted an unprecedented intense heat. This wave of energy carried an aura that surpassed all things. If the Demon Emperor or other powerful beings were here, they would easily recognize that the wave was an aura that transcended reincarnation. 9 reincarnations, only then could one approach the divine seat. But the might of the divine seat was something that mere mortals could never easily probe. Master, what are you doing? You sit here every day in front of this paper image, with a sad and distant expression. Has this person already passed away? Are you praying for him, Master? Within the ferocious soul domain of the ghost realm, in one of the 5 great academies, a refined and elegant young girl sat at a table, staring absent-mindedly at the handsome man on the paper. The little girl had a mischievous and quirky expression. As soon as she pushed the door open, she grinned and said, "Qingya." The girl, Qingya, was startled by the little girl's sudden call. Her previously sorrowful eyes were instantly filled with an unprecedented sternness, and her voice became sharp and harsh. Woo-woo-woo. Yunqi's sister is scaring me. If I tell the sect leader... The little girl was so frightened by Yunqi that she collapsed to the ground and started crying loudly. Sister didn't scare you. This person here is named Xiao Yan, and he's someone really powerful from the human realm. Yunqi reached out and helped Qingya, her voice softening again. It seemed that the mention of this name made her heart feel strangely uneasy. When she had competed with Xiao Yan before, she had never felt such a sensation. Perhaps it was only after missing him that she realized the regret. But Yunqi didn't even notice that Xiao Yan's figure often flashed in her mind, and sometimes, an even more elusive figure of a woman would appear together in her memories. The memory was blurry, but Yunqi was sure that the aura was real. What kind of power it belonged to, she didn't know. Sister, do you like this human? No, don't talk nonsense. I remember the sect leader said that to like someone means to share a lot of delicious food together. Sister, go find him. Knock, knock, knock. Yunqi? The 2 figures continued talking about some trivial matters in the fragrant room. After a while, someone knocked on the door. Yunqi had already stopped asking about matters concerning the 5 great academies and was focusing on her own cultivation. It was very unusual for someone to come looking for her at this time. Outside the door stood a figure dressed like a scout guard, sure enough, in black, clearly one of the Li Hun guards from the Li Hun clan, serving the current master of the Li Hun domain, Duan Qifei's personal guard. Lord Yunqi. Recently, something seems off in the ghost realm. All the spatial passages connecting with the other 6 realms have been sealed, and the entire vast ghost realm seems to be under some kind of powerful force, unable to enter. Those stationed at the dimensional rifts haven't sent any news either, and the domain lord is nowhere to be found, which is very strange. A Lihun guard, with an odd expression, pushed the door open and directly said, "Yes, I'll go find her." As soon as those words were spoken, the place returned to silence. In the 6 Paths Reincarnation Immortals Cave Mansion, Xiao Yan's figure instantly withdrew. His entire aura was chaotic as he sat in the blank world, gasping for breath. Even Xiao Yan himself didn't understand why he saw Yun Qi's image in this blank space, and it left him with a sense of confusion, as though he had encountered it before. Moreover, who exactly was this Nanan sister? Forget it. The matters of past and present lives are too mysterious. I should focus on devouring the sacred flame and completing my transformation. After a brief hesitation, Xiao Yan shook his head. The overwhelming soul power within him surged out, instantly breaking through the mysterious space. His body returned to the grand hall, surrounded by a layer of orange-gold energy crystals. Within Xiao Yan's skin and veins, a strange and holy yet violent orange-gold flame flowed. As the orange-gold flame surged, even the 6 sacred flames fused within Xiao Yan's body had to retreat rapidly. The ancient pressure from the 3rd sacred flame made all 6 sacred flames uneasy. Although the flame mantra cannot evolve to reach the divine class, it is still the strongest technique under the divine class. Let's go. As soon as he finished speaking, the powers within Xiao Yan's body became wild. This was a clear sign that he was beginning to devour the sacred flame. Boom, boom, boom. A series of shocking, soul-stirring waves spread out from the energy crystal, causing the entire hall to collapse in the void. Time became chaotic, and scenes of destructive light curtains continued to extend. Xiao Yan. At this moment, Yun Yun's heart once again surged with a sense of seriousness. Although Yun Yun knew that Xiao Yan's cultivation technique was extremely special, the process of devouring the sacred flame to gain that overwhelming power was something that no ordinary person could withstand. Her eyes were filled with a tense emotion, and she vaguely saw the figure in the energy crystal, enduring torment. Each time the destructive halos nearly destroyed Xiao Yan, his immortality and indestructible power surged forth, causing him to be reborn. The glazed and orange-gold halos constantly shifted. Although the process of devouring was dangerous, with Xiao Yan's tenacious will, it was only a matter of time before he succeeded. While Xiao Yan was undergoing his transformation, many events were happening across the Great Thousand Worlds. Many powerful cultivators who had gone to the 6 Paths Reincarnation Cave Mansion to capture the sacred flame had returned to their respective realms, each with their own gains, except for the few who had perished at Xiao Yan's hands. In the current immortal realm, the rift in the heavens has disappeared without a trace, and the vast emptiness of the realm has once again stabilized. The reason for this is the heavenly needle that Yuru brought back, which has completely reconstructed the immortal realm. As a result, the immortal realm has been renamed the Celestial Realm, and Yuru, Yun Yun, and other powerful experts, who are among the elite, have been inducted into the ranks of the Celestial Realm's top forces, temporarily stabilizing the situation where the Celestial Realm's pinnacle powers were lacking. It's been almost a year, Yuru murmured. The passage of time inside the Reincarnation Cave Mansion is strange. In its void, it feels like over 3 years have passed. Xiao Yan, you really? On the vast plaza of the Moon God Palace in the Celestial Realm, Yuru sat alone, gazing at the crescent moon in the boundless night sky. The rumors, she thought, she probably wouldn't even believe them herself. Gulp. 9-star convergence? What exactly is going on? Suddenly, an incredible tide-like phenomenon appeared in the sky. In the vast and deep starry sky, 9 dazzling stars suddenly lit up, and then slowly intertwined into an otherworldly and eerie image. At that moment, strong figures from across the Celestial Realm, the Immortal Realm, and other realms noticed the strange sight in the sky. 9-star convergence. There must be a disaster in this world. But where exactly is the disaster? A deep, Meaningful rumble echoed in the minds of the strongest across the 6 realms, lingering and unshakable. This kind of celestial phenomenon clearly signified the birth of some great calamity, yet there were no signs of any strange occurrences in any of the realms within the Great Thousand Worlds. As a result, the atmosphere in countless regions of the Great Thousand Worlds suddenly became tense, for no one knew what the meaning of this cosmic anomaly was. Could this be the beginning of a catastrophe, or something else entirely? That remains unknown. After a long while, a small crack appeared in the Reincarnation Immortal's cave mansion, from which 2 streaks of light flashed. Not long after, these lights coalesced into 2 plain figures. The 2 figures stood in the vast void of the outer world, their deep and lingering gazes fixed on the ancient cave mansion before them. Under their watch, the ancient cave mansion finally sank into the river of time, perfectly concealed within the void, seemingly never to open again. The disaster had ended, and the power of the 6 Paths Reincarnation Immortal had vanished. It was time to rest in peace. After waiting for the Reincarnation Cave Mansion to completely disappear, a sense of relief finally surfaced on the faces of the 2 figures. This journey into the Reincarnation Cave Mansion had been perilous. If it hadn't been for that final, reckless action, their current situation might still be dire. But in the end, it had a good conclusion. However, Xiao had also learned the terrifying power of the half-god art. Unfortunately, in the Great Thousand World, there are few who can independently wield top-tier immortal arts, and such destructive attacks as the half-god art can only be performed with the blessing of an angel from the angelic realm. Senior, this world, we will guard it in your stead, because this is our world. As the soft voice fell, a terrifying wave of energy, one that seemed to transcend heaven and earth, slowly emanated from Xiao body. Now, Xiao body, chest, and even skin had been thoroughly tempered by the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame. Ancient golden patterns flickered faintly across his body. In nearly a year's time, not only had he successfully devoured the 3rd sacred flame, but he had also completed the fusion of 7 types of sacred flames. The new heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, led by orange-gold flames, with hints of 6 other colors, was born. This new flame was a terrifying boost to his power. Moreover, within the cave mansion, he had completed the 6th transformation of the Dragon God transformation, Dragon God's Wrath. It could be said without hesitation that this journey into the Reincarnation Cave Mansion was when Xiao strength grew at an astonishing pace within the Reincarnation Stage. 5th Reincarnation Stage. The power of the 3rd Sacred Flame is truly terrifying. Yun, nestled beside Xiao, stuck out her pink tongue and then, with a hint of envy and happiness, spoke. Your strength is also somewhat terrifying. Heh. The next moment, Xiao grinned and gently waved his hand. Since it's over here, let's head back to the Boundless Fire Domain. You've been gone for so long, they must be worried sick. Yun forcefully pulled away from Xiao, turning her back, and her graceful, refined demeanor was fully displayed. During the devouring process, the sacred flame's power was enough to consume Xiao mind. If not for Yun's help, he would have likely been overwhelmed. Thus, their journey to the cave mansion had allowed the feelings hidden deep within their hearts to finally surface. In life, one should love boldly and hate boldly. All right. Xiao nodded, then casually raised his hand and slowly swiped through the void in front of him. A space rift emerged, its entrance linking to the time-space wormhole that would return them to the Boundless Fire Domain. It really has been a long time since I saw those guys from the Dochi continent. Looking at the space rift, Yun furrowed her brow slightly. While her face seemed calm, there was a trace of concern in her heart. Xiao tentatively comforted Yun, knowing that she must be worried about Xun'er and the others. Sorry to disturb you both. I hope you won't hold it against me. Suddenly, a series of silver halos emerged all around the void, quickly weaving together into an immense sky-reaching net. At the center of the giant net, countless strands of silver spatial energy began to gather, gradually forming a human figure. Silver hair, deep eyes, and a seemingly frail body radiated a powerful aura. They found me this quickly? I can't tell if they are from the human realm's central powers, the Buddhist realm, or the Hell realm. Despite witnessing the scene, Xiao showed no panic, only offering a faint smile. His strength, after his recent explosive growth, had already reached the 5th reincarnation stage. Combined with the enhancements from the Dragon God transformation and Sacred Flame, he could probably face a peak 5th reincarnation stage expert head-on and come out victorious. Now, Xiao was strong enough to rank among the peak powerhouses of the Great Thousand Worlds. He was no longer the same person who once lingered around the 2nd and 3rd reincarnation stages. Lord Xiao, what brings you here? I am Qin Xinyu, an envoy of the Great Thousand Palace. I've come on the Lord's orders to guard this place, waiting for your emergence, so I can invite Lord Xiao to attend the Demon-Slaying King Summit. The man on the sky-reaching net looked at Xiao, whose terrifying aura seemed to sweep across the world, and fear filled his eyes as he forced a smile. This kind of power could only come from the high-ranking figures within the Great Thousand Palace. How could it be emanating from Xiao? Though Xiao strength wasn't weak, his information had indicated that he was at the 3rd reincarnation stage, which was nothing remarkable in the eyes of the Great Thousand Palace, a behemoth of a force. The Great Thousand Palace? The Demon-Slaying King Summit? Xiao was taken aback, clearly unfamiliar with such matters. This summit is one of the highest-level meetings in the Great Thousand Worlds. Every time it's held, major issues of great importance are discussed. I remember that the first heavenly battle began not long after the Demon-Slaying King Summit of the Great Thousand Palace's 8 leaders. This shows the significance of this summit. Only the most powerful heroes who have contributed immensely to the Great Thousand Worlds can attend. Yun's heart trembled upon hearing this. She was well aware, through the teachings from her own master, of the immense influence of the Great Thousand Palace. Time is of the essence. Please, Lord Xiao, come with me. This time, there will be 10 demon-slaying kings. Qin Xianyu looked at Xiao with utmost respect, speaking slowly before falling silent, awaiting Xiao's response. Let's go together. I'm not comfortable letting you return to the boundless fire domain alone. After pondering for a moment, Xiao grabbed Yun's wrist and turned his gaze to Qin Xinyu. Thank you. As his voice faded, Xiao's figure suddenly became overwhelming. A ray of sacred light surged from his body, radiating boundless brilliance, as if an ultimate divine artifact had just emerged. Gulp. 5th stage? In that moment, sensing Xiao's genuinely terrifying aura, a feeling of envy and shock overwhelmed Qin Xinyu. 1 year ago, during the contest for the 3rd sacred flame in the Great Thousand World, Xiao was still just at the 3rd reincarnation stage. But now, after a year, his strength had surged to this level? For a reincarnation stage expert, 1 year was but the blink of an eye. At this moment, Qin Xinyu seemed to understand why the high-ranking figures of the Great Thousand Palace had sent him to guard outside the cave mansion. They must have already anticipated that the new master of the 3rd sacred flame was none other than the Lord of the boundless fire domain. Please follow me. As his voice fell, Qin Xianyu's palm trembled, and a spatial scroll appeared. From it, a stable spatial passage formed, immediately enveloping the 3 of them. Thus, the trio set off toward the Great Thousand Palace. In just half a day's time, they successfully arrived at the Great Thousand Palace. However, this time, Qin Xianyu didn't lead them into the Great Thousand Palace's buildings. Instead, he stopped at a spot below one of the palace's towering structures, as if gazing out over the vast ocean before them. This was a boundless sea, with waves crashing and stirring the air. Every surge of the waves brought a sense of exhilaration to Xiao and the others. Lord, this summit is of utmost importance, and its confidentiality is of the highest level. Only those at the demon-slaying king level can attend. Here is your demon-slaying order. As he spoke, Qin Xianyu's face became serious. Soon, a glassy token appeared in his hand, shimmering with a mysterious glow. The token was no larger than a palm, but it radiated a mysterious energy. Although Xiao didn't yet know the exact purpose of the demon-slaying order, legends say it is the key to entering the core of the palace of the Great Thousand. Countless powerful beings have racked their brains in hopes of obtaining the title of demon-slaying king, which shows just how much this token represents, more than just status and strength, but a kind of supreme honor. The demon-slaying order has many functions. One of them is the key to the core area. You can use your soul power to infiltrate the token, and it will take you to the meeting place. That place is also the true core of the Palace of the Great Thousand. Only those at the demon-slaying king level can enter. As for this esteemed one, I will arrange for you to stay within the Palace of the Great Thousand and await the conclusion of your meeting. Handing the token to Xiao, Xin spoke again, his tone cautious. Evidently, the terrifying power Xiao had displayed earlier made him hesitate to have any ulterior motives towards such a domineering figure. The demon-slaying king is a true hero of the Great Thousand world, having slain countless powerful members of the extraterritorial evil clan. They deserve the admiration of many. Thank you, Xiao said, exchanging a glance with Yun, both understanding the importance of this meeting. As for returning to the Endless Fire Domain, it seemed that would have to wait for a while. But now, the Endless Fire Domain was no longer a place where any powerful being dared to underestimate this rising force. Its overall strength and prestige were rapidly approaching that of the peak powers in the human realm. I will meditate in the Palace of the Great Thousand and wait for you. Yun nodded slightly. True to her indifferent nature, she made no unreasonable request to accompany Xiao. Moreover, the matters of such a level were beyond her current understanding, given her still uncertain reincarnation powers. Boom! Xiao activated his soul power, quietly infiltrating the demon-slaying order. The token trembled slightly, and then slowly emitted a wave of energy that resonated with Xiao. To his surprise, the demon-slaying order seemed to contain his own primal energy. In his memories, the Palace of the Great Thousand had never asked him for primal energy before. So why were they able to condense such a token? The demon-slaying king, who appeared so ordinary, seemed to conceal endless mysteries. Xiao was becoming increasingly curious about this giant power within the Great Thousand world. The meeting of the 10 demon-slaying kings, with all the intricacies involved, would surely shake the entire Great Thousand world. Thud! A holy flame surged from the demon-slaying order, enveloping Xiao body, and instantly sank into the vast ocean below. Guided by the power of the token, Xiao soared toward his destination. At this moment, beneath the sea that seemed perilous, a storm was quietly brewing. Supreme Leader, the aura of Domain Lord Xiao has appeared above the sea of the Palace of the Great Thousand. He should arrive here in about a quarter of an hour. Our meeting should be ready to begin. In a tranquil valley below, a few faint voices suddenly sounded. With the appearance of these voices, several beams of light slowly emerged from around the valley, as if a slumbering giant beast was slowly waking. The power contained within each light was suffocating. Before long, these beams of light slowly transformed into human figures. Their expressions varied, but the pride and domineering air in their eyes were impossible to hide. Counting them, there were 9 beams of light, and among the 9 people, 8 were men and 1 was a woman, all exuding a terrifying aura that seemed to transcend this world. Fist King, go meet him. A tall and imposing man in midair spoke softly. His voice contained an undeniable authority, as if the life and death of this world were within his command. What kind of overwhelming and terrifying power did that imply? Why should I go? He's just a reckless young man who only became the demon-slaying king through the sacred flame. Not worth my time. As the first figure spoke, the man pointed out to meet Xiao, but his tone was full of disdain, and there was a fierce hostility toward Xiao, the so-called Domain Lord. The 9 people here were all demon-slaying kings, with their power ranging from the 5th to 6th reincarnation stages. If they claimed to be free of resentment, it would be a lie. After all, these powerful beings had survived for thousands of years, or even multiple reincarnations. And now, a mere demon-slaying king, who was only about 100 years old, had shattered their understanding of the entire Palace of the Great Thousand. How could such a junior, who was not even a century old, be worthy of standing on equal footing with them? Hee, the truth will be known after a test. Isn't this the moment you've been waiting for? If he defeats you, all the rumors will naturally be proven false. The first figure chuckled slightly. And if he loses? The one who had been called upon raised his head and asked, I'll personally thank you. The first figure replied. The Fist Emperor agreed, and his body immediately trembled, disappearing from the spot in an instant. However, the fluctuations around him were truly terrifying. First seat, will this? The remaining few narrowed their eyes slightly, seemingly concerned. Someone has to go. Don't worry, the activation of that thing still needs a little more time, and the purpose of our meeting is precisely that thing. As soon as the words were spoken, the place fell into silence once again. Underneath this vast ocean lies a deeply ancient and terrifying restriction. Judging from the fluctuations we passed through earlier, beneath the sea, there is actually a grand ancient formation. If it weren't for the protection of the demon-slaying order's power, I fear that with my current strength at the 5th reincarnation stage, I wouldn't be able to break through this ancient formation. Xiao Yan's surroundings became pitch black and deep as he paused and spoke. Poof! A sound, like misty water flowing, echoed, and Xiao Yan's vision suddenly became clearer. This place. His gaze fell upon a vast, enormous plaza beneath him. The plaza was surrounded by various mysterious and profound special inscriptions. At this moment, Xiao Yan let out a faint breath. After an experience full of strange and wondrous events, he had finally reached his destination. Beneath the Palace of the Great Thousand, in the core region, this place was known as the sleeping ground of the Great Thousand Palace. Under the sea of the Great Thousand Palace, there were two peculiar locations. One was the Weapon Repository Pavilion, containing the mysteries of Yin and Yang and several mysterious dimensional rifts, providing a place for the strong of the Great Thousand Palace to rest in seclusion. The other was the martial arts arena. It was well known that this place was the best venue for combat.